Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel for a brand new video. This is your second video of Friday, and this one is really good. This is going to be about the Paragon Gauntlet, an exploration guide, and some amazing options of champions. So if you don't know, we did a little community tab. Get involved in the community tab whilst I'm getting time is just to kind of put some ideas out there. I use my own team, but I also am interested to build out guides and spreadsheets and information with you in mind. The community have a lot more better ideas than I have. I've got some ideas, but do bear in mind, there's more of you than there is of one of me to come up with ideas. So, going out and reaching out to you guys and gals to find out great ideas is the great thing about a community. And people have some fantastic ideas. I want to, say a massive thank you to everybody that got involved in this community tab, and as well, just point out how brilliant everyone is, especially because it took a long time to scroll down and find people use Hercules. And that is amazing. There's something that I think is just brilliant, because there are people that did say, yes, use Hercules, because you always get them. But, and look, if it's going to make life easier for you, it is. But what we did was we produced a really fantastic spreadsheet. This is now in the side quest guide tab thing. So if you click in the link in the description, it will take you to this. And we'll break down each champion, each fight, and then, there'll be video footage of me playing my team. Just for curiosity, or kind of just letting you know, my team for this, first of all, starting off, was Kingpin, Falcon, and Archangel. As we break down each fight, I'll kind of explain as to why those were used, but also other options that players had, which was just, as I said, it's fantastic to see some amazing suggestions from this community. So fight number one is Kraven. Of course, if you've done the event quest, you'll be familiar with the champion. With Feet of Energy, powerful, stay a while and listen debuff, stung once, twice shy, compelled, dual special attacks. This is a very straightforward champion if you've got some really good counters. A lot of the time I was seeing people saying that they used Hood, using Kitty Pryde, and of course people were setting up synergizations between having Kingpin and I think Scorpion, like having some kind of team set up around that. But people were using Bishop. Of course, I used Archangel. I found it a very straightforward thing to use. And of course, people were going to use and build Hercules going from this fight into other ones. But yeah, it's down to what you feel is your best counter for this one. As I said, for me, it was Archangel. I just found it very, very easy to do. And yeah, those are the suggestions. Moving now on to Thing. Thing does have Foresight, Adaptive, Rushdown, Ticking Time Bomb, Wavering, Will, Heavy. There may be some issues as to the Rushdown. The attacker starts with 3 rushdown charges. When a defender dashes a dash attack, lands or is blocked, remove 1 charge. Knocking down the defender restores 1 charge. When the attacker has no charges, they are inflicted with a stun passive for 3 seconds. Then all their rushdown charges are restored. It just depends if that's going to be an issue for you and how you play about with that one. Also, Ticking Time Bomb. When the attacker performs a well-timed block, they gain a fuse charge. Striking the defender's block removes 1 fuse charge, which I think in my footage I'm doing a little bit of, just to kind of play around with that one. But Falcon was my go-to champion for this one. Made it very much more simple. Made it a lot more simple. Of course, you've got to deal with the rock charges elements to it. So if you've got a bleed-based champion, that can be relatively effective. Whether or not you have a rough ride with Nick Fury, but a lot of people were using different suggestions, whether or not people said about using Adam Warlock, or indeed they were on about using Black Cat. Some of the suggestions, of course, are in the spreadsheet, so you can go and check out the guide for that one. Going to the choice node, this is when you make your key decisions. For me, at this particular point with the choice node, I decided to switch out and add in Overseer, just because I needed a poison immune option to take on Man Thing, and I kind of felt that was kind of like what I needed to do. So looking at some of the suggestions there, Overseer, of course, that's mine, and a few other people kind of chose the same thing. Human Torch. Possibly, but I personally would be kind of away from that. I'm actually going to remove that to the end as kind of like a suggestion and bring everyone up, because I just kind of feel that it might be a better option to go with a more poison immune first. Not saying anything against it, it's just a case of I think from a recommendation standpoint, I might go it last. Because look, you've got Overseer, you've got Human Torch, not Human Torch. You've got Hulk, you've got Kingpin, and people using Kingpin. So, you know, fair play. Joe Fixit, Titania, Hulkling, and yeah, of course, a Human Torch at the end, if you so dares to use him. But yeah, that's the kind of the shift out right there when it comes to that. Moving now on to Beast. Now, Beast is a bit of an iffy one. I actually ended up using Overseer for this one. It was a rough fight. Not a rough fight, say that I lost a lot of health and died, or kind of like KO'd. No, on the contrary, it's just the case. It was a long fight, and I kind of felt to myself, I didn't want to risk. Because it's a thing, like, if anything goes wrong and I've risked these champions, I don't want to use a revive. I'm saving them for something. So I played the long game and came up trumps. But there are other options to consider with this one, because the champion is, and it's difficult to get a parry heavy, and you have to like deal with your timing. I kind of feel champions are easy to access heavy attacks or quick snappy ones, or have something in a region of a kit where you can rotate. Otherwise, just wait until you got a striker, hit down the enemy, and then it's the case you've removed those flux dispersals. Because you have to do a heavy attack, you have to then kind of think, okay, well, I need something that's going to be of benefit here, and something with not a stun as part of a kit, but I kind of feel like, yeah, quick snappy, kind of like Kingpin. He has that quick belly bounce, so it's like that's a quick action to get the knockdown, to remove the flux dispersals, to then get back into the game of fight, because of that debuff element that the champion has, which is right back at you. When a defender is knocked down by heavy or special attack, they become debuff immune for 8 seconds. So it's difficult to get. You have to literally kind of time that in to then do, okay, we'll go wait 8 seconds, do a parry, then do a heavy attack. It's kind of like, yeah, it's just a bit of, sometimes it's easier than others. But look, I made a meal of it, but other people didn't make a meal of it. Using champions like Hercules. I mean, Overseer worked once I started getting those kind of bursts in. It worked great. The same thing with having, people were saying Adam Warlock, Nimrod, Shocker, Hood, Omega Sentinel. Like, there was a lot of champion suggestions there for that one. As I said, maybe I made a meal of it, but as I said, I didn't want to risk any other champion that I had plans for. Although I didn't end up using Kingpin for the end boss. More on that in a moment. The next choice switch node is going to be about prepping for these last final 2 bosses, Werewolf by Night and Morbius. So maybe you switch off for some champion, switch over for some champion that's going to be beneficial for going up against them. For me personally, I switched out a Overseer, of course, and I brought in Nick Fury. With my Ascended version of Nick Fury, he becomes, relevant enough to kind of work as strong enough. And especially because I needed a miss counter with the class advantage, kind of felt that may be the best way to go. But there are other options in order to counter with, miss, that can suppress miss. Omega Sentinel does it. Human Torch does it. I think Shang-Chi does it as well. I could be wrong with that. But you've also got playing into this taking down monsters with Elsa Bloodstone. You've got your Hercules. There I say Hercules with it. So there are options, and of course, yeah, Kingpin is kind of like top rated for this. So for Werewolf by Night, the interesting thing about champion options is I just use Human Torch. I just used Archangel, but look, Kingpin, Overseer, I've heard people using Scorpion, I've heard people using Elsa Bloodstone, Hercules, Titania. There are so many options to take this down, and I think I even used She-Hulk when I was kind of doing the initial clearing event quest. So there's tons of different options for this, where you go class advantage, slow debuff to help out against that unstoppable. You play into the silver element. Maybe you're using Blade for this, maybe you're not. Like there are tons of options that are going to be applicable to take him down. Of course, for me, it's just Archangel and done. But that's not the answer to everything. That's like me saying use Hercules for everything. It's not the answer. It really isn't. And finally, it's Morbin time, as in Morbin's going down time. And this is going to be down to you how you choose to take it on. Miss counters, as we said, could be key for it. When you look to attack, is going to be different based on the movements of the champion. Quicker access to things like the miss suppression may be a good answer to this. I played this very kind of scrappily and really had to wait until I got into my phase 2 for Nick Fury to kind of feel that I was getting anywhere to take down this champion. But yeah, seeing some people use some unusual options. I've definitely seen some unusual options. Unusual being, well, not unusual, but you got usuals, your Human Torches, your Kingpins. I've seen people using Shang-Chi, Absorbing Man. I think someone said that they used. So Elsa Bloodstone, of course, that works well. So there are tons of options to take this down. And yeah, that's it for the video. Good luck to everybody that's yet to do this. Apologies, it's taken a little bit of time in order to get this this out, but it's just a case of I've just been busy with some stuff. Hopefully next week, fingers crossed, we're back to kind of like I don't have to kind of give any more extra time to other stuff that I need to, and I can focus on finishing off some projects and starting some projects and covering some stuff like Act 8.3 coming out, like the Battle Realm Brawl coverage. We'll be live streaming hopefully a lot. I'm hoping to get a lot of stuff done so I can just focus on that. But that's been the video. I hope you enjoyed watching. Check out the spreadsheet if you need a guide for this one. And yeah, check out some other content located on screen. And have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. I'll see you soon. Probably another video later on for this New York Comic Con announcement thing. So check that out whenever I drop that. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.